the new plan, gonna take a stand, gonna find a way to change the game. You tell me that I should stay, trust what you say, and that's all okay. But everything starts to feel like a con, and I'm the pawn. Am I right or wrong?
Knock on, everybody.
Each spring, I have some close friends and pro staffers here to my home state of Iowa for a fun little week of turkey hunting. And this year, thanks to my good buddy Matt Stewart and my friend Jason at Double 711 Custom Calls, we've got a little bit more at stake. We've got the Nock On Field Buzzard Championship belt. So we decided to take the bird's weight, their longest spur, and their beard length to give us one grand total. Whoever had the highest number by the end of the hunt was going to have the Field Buzzard belt for the next year. So this episode is all the times that went down for an awesome little week of competition between me and some great friends. Up first is pro staffer Justin Hackett. And lucky for him, he had a bearded hen come in, which the group had decided ahead of time would carry over 10 extra bonus points. So this hen would give him a good shot for lead of the title.
Down right there, man. First bearded hen. Yes. Down here in Iowa again, Knock On crew. Thanks guys for having us down. Had an awesome trip again. Toms have been henned up pretty good, but I actually had a new trophy come in. This is my first bearded hen. Gorgeous bird. Came into my Dave Smith setup. Put about a 20-yard shot on her, and here she is. Absolutely awesome trip again. Knock and roll.
Up next is Justin Jensen, aka JJ, and he's out with our good buddy Dustin. And evidently this belt is just adding a little bit of extra pressure on these guys this year, because at this point JJ had already missed this giant tom at 20 yards. So luckily for all of you out there, we've got enough time on this show to show you what happens next.
Just low. Yep, just low.
Now it's at this point that an archer realizes there actually is a use for a 6-arrow quiver. And this is JJ's last shot.
Got him. Oh, last arrow. Man, what a morning. I tell you, thanks Dustin for giving me all these opportunities. Oh man, guys. Let's just say I get really excited a lot. Empty quiver, but we got our Iowa bird. Oh man.
Good job, Bubba.
Thank you.
Second year in Iowa, second bird down for me. I haven't spent more than 3 hours in the redneck bail blinds in the last 2 years here. Another great, exciting, fun morning. You know, these birds came into the Dave Smith decoys. You know, I botched the shot and kind of ruined our team double for me and Dustin, but this bird hung around, and thankfully Dustin was nice enough, let me shoot another shot at it, and I was able to put him down. You know, it's just exciting, and when we make it fun, if you'd see us in the blinds, you guys would know that it's nothing but fun for us. And you know, hopefully he can get it done tonight for the team championship. We got the Knock On belt at stake, and go team JJ and Dustin.
Knock On TV is brought to you by Hoyt. Get serious, get Hoyt. Under Armour, always lethal. Lancaster Archery Supply. Redneck Bail Blinds. Sherlock Hunting Sites. Nocturnal lighted Nocks, Fuse hunting accessories, and Yamaha ATVs and side-by-sides, real world tough.
The brand new Hoyt Nitro, first hunt with it.
That's my biggest buck with a bow. Big time, buddy.
Smoked him. That heart beating on him. We just broke the new Nitro in, baby. And son of a gun, we just come in here and cooked this cornbread.
Gonna put another buck in the truck with my new Hoyt Nitro.
Get serious, get Hoyt.
The future of concealment technology has arrived. Ridge Reaper Camo. Under Armour has spent the last few years developing this pinnacle camouflage system because concealment is, and always will be, a necessity in the field. Able to work at a variety of ranges and in multiple environments, the pattern utilizes two key techniques. Coincidental disruption uses irregular shapes and angles to obscure the hunter's silhouette against a multitude of environments, giving prey little to no chance of identifying the hunter's shape or position. The second technique the pattern employs is a unique no-background color algorithm. By utilizing contextual color theory and a variety of gradation, the pattern creates a complex illusion of depth, as well as conforming to the wide range of tints, tones, and shades present in the field. These techniques create a one-of-a-kind pattern that changes the game in concealment technology. Go where you don't belong.
Dead center.
Throughout each of the seasons of Nock On, I've continued to educate through the field recon and the dead center segments. And this is really what I like to do best, because what I enjoy most about archery is actually coaching. I enjoy that way more than I enjoyed competing. And one thing that I did this past year was started to create the Nock On podcast, which is an awesome resource for you to listen to very, very in-depth subjects relating to archery. I've got special guests, high-level archers, high-level coaches, high-level hunters, as well as editors and very special guests that I think bring some awesome topics to the sport of archery, not just in the hunting category, but also in the target category. You can check these out on any of your smart devices, including your phones, your tablets, as well as your home computer. Now, if you're an Apple device user, then you can go to iTunes and search the podcast categories for Nock On Podcasts. If you don't have iTunes, or if you're not an Apple user, then simply go to knockon.podbean.com and you'll be able to listen to any of our podcasts directly through the Podbean website. This is a super easy and effective way to broaden your knowledge and get really in-depth on a lot of these subjects that I enjoy teaching. Make sure you check out and spread the word for the Nock On podcasts. Expand your archery knowledge with Nock On Podcasts, the highest level of world-class archery information available on either iTunes or at knockon.podbean.com. Now up is one of the most competitive guys I know, Waylon Byers. He's out with our good buddy Pete Clendenen, and this giant bird came in quiet, and I can guarantee you that with as tense as Waylon is, he's definitely thinking that this bird is going to earn the belt.
First afternoon out for me and Pete, the whole crew's in town. We had a couple hens come over out in front of us out here, and Pete goes, 2 toms right here. Turn and look out the side bail blind window, and sure enough, here they come. They didn't say a word. Walked right in. Tried to do a little strutty strut. Bang. 20 yards. Nailed him. Knock off.
With 1 day left on this group hunt, Pete is now up to bat, and Waylon is just going to have to sit behind the camera and see if this bird is going to beat that giant one that he had just weighed in.
It's early first light. We had some birds just roosting right by us here. Tom came right in first thing, getting it down with Team P-Dub. Yeah. Good job, buddy.
Well, it's first light. Birds pitched right down by us. Hens came up on the top side. Tom came right down to us in the lane like he's supposed to, right to the Dave Smith decoys. Put a good shot on him. Team P-Dub doing it again.
Closed captioning brought to you by Red Willow Outfitters, Alberta's premier hunting destination, offering quality hunts for over 20 years.
The Yamaha Viking, and introducing the all-new Viking 6. The hardest working, most off-road capable side-by-sides in America. Built for the hardest working people on earth. You.
The new Block Vault is the most technologically advanced archery target ever built. The four-sided shooting lets you shoot it close, long, precise, and real. Shoot field tips, broadheads, and expandables. Block Vault's high-density open-layered core and polyfusion design stops all high-speed bows and smaller diameter arrows with friction, not force. Block Vault. Get locked in.
Field Recon.
Behind me here is the result of a little project that I did 2 years ago called TSI, Timber Stand Improvement. A lot of times if you go to your local FSA offices, you can actually talk with them about getting funding for timber stand improvement. And what that is, that's a program that allows you to cut down or hinge cut or girdle invasive trees or trees that are blocking the sunlight to some of your hardwood trees. And in this particular area here, I used to be able to see right through here. And one thing that a lot of people, they like to have clean looking timber because it is nice if you're just using it for recreational land. But when it comes to hunting, having timber that you can't see through is what the deer want because that's maximum bedding. So this area here, I used to be able to see right through there. But what I did was I went through and all the hedge trees and the invasive trees, I went ahead and cut them and hinged them over so that the new growth can get sunlight and really start to flourish. And you can see that now what once you could have just seen right through this piece of timber, you can barely see. I've done this on several pieces of my property, and the difference from where I did not do it to where I did do it is amazing. If you're looking to create great bedding and also almost a great block for when you travel to and from your stands, look into this program called TSI work, or Timber Stand Improving. A few hours with a chainsaw can make a huge difference in how good your property is for big bucks. Now it's finally my turn to have my shot at the title. I had spent several days trying to film all my staffers get their birds, and on this last night of the season, I found myself here with this Jake in close with my Dave Smith decoys. However, out on the fringes, just out of range, was a giant tom that I was almost certain was the one that would take the title. After watching this Jake put on quite the show for this Dave Smith decoy, I finally had the big boy come in to give me my shot. Well, that was an awesome hunt. We're here on one of Dustin's hay leases, and it's a pretty unique place. It's an old abandoned racetrack. So there's still parts of the racetrack here and there. There's a bunch of junk out here where people used to come and stay for their race weekends. But there's tons of gobblers too. And last night, Justin shot a great bearded hen, and he saw a great gobbler cross further down the field. So we went ahead and hooked on. We moved the blind a little bit to where he saw the gobbler going to the roost, and I'll be danged if we didn't get a shot at him. I'm pretty sure this was the bird because he was a giant. We went ahead and removed the Jake decoy from the equation because these past few days, for whatever reason, the toms are being a little bit shy of having a gobbler or a Jake with the hens. So we decided to just go with just the hens, and it worked perfectly. He came right in without hesitation. Made an awesome shot with my Hoyt carbon spider, and this is a big, big bird. Super heavy. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the winner. Be sure to visit knockonarchery.com to see our entire line of knock-on lifestyle clothing, as well as some awesome knock-on gear and accessories that I personally take to the field myself. Enter promo code SHOWFAN and I'll include a free signed photo. Also remember that all U.S. orders over 100 get free shipping. knockonarchery.com. For over 30 years, Lancaster Archery Supply has practiced the values of integrity, caring, and excellence to archery customers. Discover the largest online selection of bows, arrows, and archery accessories at lancasterarchery.com. Call on our archery experts for expert advice on all your archery needs. If you want the best service and gear, then visit Lancaster Archery Supply, America's largest archery-only supplier.
Lancaster Archery Supply.
He's the buck you've been after all season. You see him in the middle of the field every day. The problem is a stand isn't an option. What's a hunter to do? Get a redneck bail blind, that's what you do. The ultimate in stealth and concealment. The redneck bail blind features a sturdy metal frame, a hand-sewn water-resistant cover, and silent slide windows, all in a spacious blind that wildlife adapt to instantly, putting you in the heart of the action. The redneck bail blind. Problem solved. Register online to win your very own at redneckblinds.com.
Nocturnal lighted Nocks feature a linear string-activated switch for simple, fail-proof performance. Hidden deep within the Nock, the switch will not turn on or off until you need it to. The completely sealed weatherproof battery keeps the super bright LEDs lit for over 20 hours to make sure you always find your arrow and your game. Nocturnal lighted Nocks, switch on accuracy.
Nocked and ready to rock.
All right, well, we're at the stage now where we're going to go ahead and mount our arrow rests to the bow. For many years, I've chose the Trophy Taker fall-away arrow rests. I really like a fall-away rest because it allows me to choose a magnitude of fletching configurations, and because that rest gets out of the way completely, you never have to worry about clearance with one of your fletchings contacting that arrow rest. Now this is a limb-driven arrow rest, which means instead of this cord being tied to a cable, the cord actually goes all the way down to the bottom limb. So as you draw the bow, your limbs will flex and it'll allow this rest to come up. As you shoot, it actually will pull this down out of the way the same each and every time to where you have perfect clearance. Now for our initial setup, what I do is, even though the package comes with a type of device that allows you to mount that cable down to your bottom limb, what I've done was I buy these small little limb savers, and I'll go ahead and cut a slit through the center of that, and I'll stick it on the limb. I've never had a problem with these coming loose, and it really secures the cable. From there, I'm going to go ahead and tie a simple knot, wrapping the cord around itself and tying a knot. I'll snip it off, I'll fuzz up that material, then I'll burn it into a small little ball, and then I'll touch it with my finger to secure it. Then I'll securely tighten this cord very firmly down on the bottom limb, but I've still left the top set screw loose, which allows this arrow rest and the cord to still move freely, because I want to be able to set this up initially with my arrow in the proper position. When you mount your arrow rest, you want to make sure your arrow rest is level. You want to just easily eyeball it and tighten it down securely, and also tighten the small little screws that they have as a secondary tightener device so that you don't ever have to worry about it moving up or down. From there, my initial setting on my arrow rest is when I put an arrow on here, I'll take a bow square and I'll put this arrow at 90 degrees, and then I like to adjust the height of my rest right now so that the bottom of my arrow shaft is right about the center line or the top edge of that rest hole. That way, as you draw your bow back and your broadhead is sitting here in the shelf, you have perfect clearance, especially if you shoot a fixed blade head. If your initial setting is too low, then sometimes you may have contact with your actual blades here on the front of your rest. So you want to get that initial setting the way that you need it to. The other thing is you want to adjust your left and right initially. And on a Hoyt, if you measure from the center of the riser to the top center of the shaft, it's almost 2 centimeters. A lot of other bows are right at about 13/16 of an inch is a very good starting point. If you look directly over the top of your bow with an arrow nocked, your arrow should run right through the center of your string and about right down the center of the tiller bolts which you use to adjust your poundage. So you have a perfect center shot for left or right. This is our initial settings. We'll have to maybe adjust that later. Once I have that in that position, I'll go ahead and make sure I've completely tightened down that left to right and that up and down adjustment. And what I do personally, even though this is a full containment rest, I go ahead and trim off this small trap door on the side. And a lot of times I'll take some snips and I'll actually cut half of this cage off the top too, because I like to be able to have free range of being able to nock an arrow and put it in there. The riser shelf itself really contains that arrow just fine. I don't like to have a full containment all the way around, because sometimes if you're in a rush and you need to load an arrow fast, it's just easier to be able to throw and go. And once I've done that, really the last thing that you're going to need to do is hold this arrow rest down. You're going to pull all the slack out of this cord, and you're going to finally tighten that small set screw on the side, which keeps that arrow rest down. And like I said, from here you're pretty much ready to go. We're going to tie some nocks on in the next segment, and once we draw our bow back, that arrow rest should come up perfectly. Well, this big old sucker got me the official Field Buzzard Championship belt. After the weigh-ins, he was about 26 pounds, had short stubby 1-inch spurs, but a big old 10-inch beard. Last night of the hunt, awesome shot. I can't thank everyone enough. It was a great week with some great staffers, and special thanks to Jason Lemming at 711 Custom Calls. You make some awesome calls, but you made us some cool medallions for our belt. Made a fun weekend for us. Thanks everybody for watching.